Hello everyone, today I'm at Upper Canada Village in Morrisburg, Ontario. I'm going to take you on a tour of this heritage village. Let's go check it out. Okay, I am now inside the park. I paid for my ticket and I have got a map. So here's the map of the village that we're going to explore. Let's go check it out. So these are the first heritage buildings we're going to go into. Okay, so this is the Beaches Sawmill. This sawmill was built in 1846 by Alvin and William Beach outside of Hexton, towards Kempville and 35 kilometers northwest of here. This simple frame structure was relocated to Upper Canada Village in 1960. The mill machinery comes originally from another early mill. Beach's Mill is typical of the many smaller water-powered mills constructed in the first half of the 19th century using a vertical saw to produce saw lumber for the surrounding population. On the main floor is a shingle saw, which many mills added to their operation in the mid-19th century. All right, let's go inside.
Full-size pine log.
We're going to go into this one, the S.J. Bellamy Steam Flour Mills. So the Bellamy's Grist Mill. This stone mill was built in 1821 by the Bellamy brothers in North Augusta, Grenville County. In 1863, its interior was completely destroyed by fire. The mill was quickly brought back into operation with 2 additional runs of millstones and a new steam engine. In the early 1980s, the mill was dismantled and rebuilt at Upper Canada Village, 57 kilometers southeast from its original location. The nearby drive shed and adjacent building, now used as the cooperage, are most recent constructions based on photographic evidence. Today, Bellamy's Mill represents an 1860s custom mill used both steam and water power to grind wheat into flour. All right, let's go inside. Fairbanks patent number 4. Hello. stairs. Oh, better view on this side first. Okay, we're now in the basement. See the water. Hopefully you can see the water moving there. All right, let's move on. So here's the next building. So this one is the Asselstein's Woolen Factory. The Asselstein Woolen Factory was erected in 1828 on Mill Creek in Ernestown Township, close to Kingston and 174 kilometers west from here. It was one of the earliest water-powered textile mills to operate in Upper Canada and offered an unusually wide range of services. By 1841, the mill was owned by Michael Asselstein Sr. This is all the wool. Kind of neat. You can get really up close to it. Here's an interesting site. Rules and regulations. Go upstairs.
Hi there.
Hi.
Welcome to the wool mill.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay. Am I allowed to touch the wool downstairs? I was so curious to touch.
You can touch.
Okay. I was so curious to touch what it felt like, but
Don't cross any rope boundaries and you're good to go.
Okay, thank you. I will go touch it later. And this looks like this was the office. for wool in Canada. Incredible. Right, so this is the next historical building. So this one is the broom maker's house. The McRath, pardon my pronunciation, family was Scottish immigrants who in 1846 settled on farmland about 135 kilometers northwest from here, near Perth in Lanark County. They found this small log house already built on their property. It has one large room heated by a fireplace and a loft above to provide shelter for a large family. This house was taken apart and rebuilt on site at Upper Canada Village. Today, this home is used to demonstrate broom making, one of many tasks sometimes done to generate additional family income. Okay. There's a little garden. See all the brooms. One of them kind of reminds me of a Harry Potter broom. Okay, it's a beautiful stone fireplace and rocking chair. A very quaint little cottage. Right, so this is the fire engine house. The engine house was built by village artisans in 1992 to house and display our antique fire engine. The Queen is a hand pumper built in 1851 by George Perry and Brothers of Montreal. It came to Upper Canada Village from Lynn, a small village north of Brockville. Mill owners were especially apprehensive about destructive fires and often donated buildings to have a fire engine and equipment nearby. All right, so let's go check it out. Wow. This is how they fought fires in the olden days. Would have been pulled by horses. You can see that there's like a bell at the top. Right, so this next building is J. Kelly Blacksmith and Wheelwright. A blacksmith shop. This blacksmith shop came from Lancaster Township in Glengarry County, approximately 70 kilometers northeast from here. While the exact date of construction is unknown, this shop was operated by blacksmith Ozias Joseph Bourbonnais on 1 acre of land he leased from Charles Leclerc in 1879. The Bourbonnais family sold the shop and its contents to Upper Canada Village in 1959. Today, the shop represents the blacksmithing trade in the 1860s, with one half representing the role of that blacksmiths often had as wheelwrights. Okay, so I want to show you that there is a lady dressed in period clothes walking our way, which is fascinating to see.
Very small house. Yeah. Ice skates, have you ever skated before perhaps?
This is what a blacksmith shop used to look like.
Look at that. Pretty good, I have to say. You did a great job. That's awesome.
Can I do it now?
Of course, sir. Come on over. Do you want to try? Okay.
Sure, Briar?
What is this strange device she has in her hand there, folks?
A camera.
Looks like sorcery to me right there, perhaps.
I'm from the future.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know where
Did you come to shoe your horse today, perhaps?
Yes, I left it in the barn over there.
Do you want to try it doing the wheel? Okay, no.
This is your job.
How? Do you want to try it?
It's okay. I think
I was going to say, how are you going to afford to fix those shoes right there? All those holes?
you're gonna sell these kids off. I
Okay.
think I can get a fair price for them.
There's the lady in her 1800s clothes again. Log cabin. Oh, it's actually called a Providence Chapel. So this small log church comes from Kitley Township, north of Brockville, a distance of 80 kilometers northwest of here. It was built in the 1850s and served as a shared facility for several Protestant denominations in this sparsely settled area. Reconstructed at Upper Canada Village in 1960, it now represents a small Methodist congregation. By the 1860s, Methodists were the largest Protestant group in Canada West. So this is a log chapel. The sign on it says Providence Chapel. All kinds of pews, and there's and another one of those chairs. And there are some interesting placard information in here as well. And we'll just read one of them. Methodism started in the mid-1700s as a reform movement within the Church of England, led by John Wesley and his Brother Charles. Early Methodism encouraged personal faith, a rigorous or methodical approach to Christian life, and promoted the idea that individuals are free to accept or reject salvation. Methodism also placed an emphasis on individual conversion and spreading the message of Christianity to both believers and non-believers. So this is a picture of John Wesley. Shown here as he looked in 1788, was a priest in the Church of England. As a young man, his devotion to scheduled religious observances earned him and a group of his students the name Methodists. Following a religious experience in 1738, Wesley began preaching the importance of salvation through faith. As his followers grew, Wesley made the organizational decision which helped structure the young church. On his death in 1791, there were over 50,000 Methodists in Britain. Interesting. Here is a map. It shows this is where the chapel was. So this says, the teachings and ideals of Methodism find their expression in slightly different denominations. Providence Chapel can be seen in its original location on this 1862 Putnam and Walling map of Kitley Township, labeled as a new Connection Methodist Church. The New Connection Church gave more power to lay people within the congregation than did other Methodist denominations. The next one is called H. Brooks Cabinet and Chair Maker. A cabinet maker's shop. This building, which today is the cabinet maker's shop, originally stood on the farm property of Captain John Lukes along the riverfront of Williamsburg Township, probably built in the 1850s. Its original use is unknown. In 1957, it was moved eastward a distance of 5 kilometers and modified to represent a cabinet maker's shop of the 1860s. Hello, how are you?
Good, you?
I'm good.
Good.
What are you guys doing here?
Oh, making cheeses. Making messy floor.
Wow, I like this chair. Both these chairs, they're really nice.
Yeah, so that's the aeroback chair, and that's a style of chair that we make here in the shop.
I like the design on it. Here is a barn. Oh, well first, so this is interesting. I believe you would tie animals, I assume horses, to this, and they would turn it. And speaking of horses, I love horses. Well, that is just our luck that it showed up just as we're here. There's a old cart on the side. Oh, there we go. The horse is going in his stall. We'll just walk up this ramp to see the other part. So it's just a stable. It's got a really high ceiling. All right. I'm super happy that we got to see that horse. We'll go explore that house in a bit when we're on the other side, but you can see it's got really beautiful gardens at the back of it. Right, so this historic house right next to the barn we just saw. So this is Ross Farmhouse. This substantial log house was built by Thomas Ross on land overlooking the St. Lawrence River in Lancaster Township, Glengarry County. Its simple plank door, small windows, and large stone fireplace suggest construction early in the 19th century. The farm property was occupied by members of the Ross and Boffin family until 1956, when the house was moved west to Upper Canada Village, a distance of 53 kilometers from what is now Glengarry Park. The adjacent barn is an historical reproduction erected in 1987 as a demonstration of a traditional barn raising. Today, the Ross House portrays a mid-19th century home and the importance of handwork to daily life.
Once they had a piece big enough to cover a bed, they would get a backing fabric and a bat, and then stretch it on a frame and begin quilting. And quilting is when you stitch through all the layers to hold the bat in the center. And that is what I'm doing. They might often invite their friends and they could all work together. To do our quilting for this one, we're doing a series of flowers.
All right, let's explore this house now. So this one is called the McDiarmid House. This two-story log house was built in 1864 by John McDiarmid. I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. A late settler on Crown land in Roxborough Township in the north end of Stormont County. Log homes remained popular where land was still being cleared. The house has a front door and upstairs window that show the skill of a competent carpenter. It was moved to Upper Canada Village in 1859, approximately 53 kilometers southwest from its original location. Today, this home is used to demonstrate hand processing of wool and other fibers. Oh, they've got literally a basket of wool at the front door. Bedroom. Another bedroom that's quite dark.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
I'm good. It's kind of warm today.
Not as bad as it has been. This
That's
is
true.
glorious.
That's true.
Compared to what we've had in the last 2 weeks, oh, this is awesome.
I definitely chose today because it's the coolest day of the.
Yep. I would love it like this all season. Unfortunately.
Because gosh darn it, in the 1800s they didn't have air conditioning.
All doors and windows.
I don't think I have the right survivor skills to survive those conditions.
Surprise. You can survive this.
Well, yeah, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Exactly. You're on a mission.
Yeah, did you see a woman in a walker?
No.
Okay. I don't know how she disappeared.
The Gazette Printing Office. This commercial building, originally a general store in Sandringham, a small village in Roxborough Township, north of Cornwall. Dates from the mid-1850s. It was moved a distance of 50 kilometers to Upper Canada Village in 1873. Restored and set up as a mid-19th century print shop and newspaper office, which it continues to represent today. The Gazette Printing Office was officially opened by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in 1976.
That's what Avery did.
Throw Avery under the bus, huh?
Wow. This would be the... Look at those old historic books. These are old historic printing machines. The signage behind is quite interesting. I think these drawers were where they kept all the letters for print that you use to print. There's I don't know what you call them, stencil or whatever the term is to call those, but you can see it's right there, and then you use ink and it prints on the paper. Very creaky old floors. Keep seeing the sign, tax notice must be paid.
It was in his mother's boarding house.
Hi,
Hi.
this is so fascinating.
So you can see that we only print in black.
Yeah.
And that's because colored ink was too expensive. People did not want to pay for it.
So do you know what year or time-ish that we started doing printing in color?
Actually, Gutenberg's first books of the Bible, the first book ever printed,
Really? Okay.
was printed in 2 colors. The color has always been there. It's the fact people don't want to pay for it. It's not the fact you can't
it was a
get it.
cost issue.
Very
Understood.
costly. And that's why we trying to figure out what that is. It's moving. That's why we have so many different type styles. Is to compensate for the color. Today, when you look
Like
at something,
because it looks more visually interesting.
okay, now if you look
Like
that one real quick, what do you
Yeah.
see first?
the biggest words.
Okay, now that had room for the big words, but we're hoping at least one line is going to get your attention. You would stop and read that.
Yeah. I would say the biggest words and the
Yeah.
bolding
So
makes
the one
makes
behind
it.
the door here, there are actually 13 different type styles in that.
Yeah. Wow. In some ways, it's like crazy busy and you don't know where to look.
And that,
And I would say grand musical is like the thickest, boldest text is
Yeah.
what stands out to me first.
and that, when it's like that and your eyes tend to bounce, it forces you to stand there and read it. That is
True.
so hard to scan. If you're scanning it and you look away, you're done.
That's
You
true. You kind of
start.
have to stop. You really have to stop and read it for sure. Yeah, that's true. Compared to like today, everything's just so
Yes, yeah.
you scroll through social media or whatever. Everything's fast paced or whatever. So yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of an interesting.
So now,
To think about
I'm
that.
sure, I don't know if they would have done it, but I really told myself I had no choice. That line,
Yeah.
Canada Village Agricultural Society, I needed, as you can see, really condensed type to be able to get that whole thing in there.
Right.
But the font only had one capital P. Must have been lost, another one. So the second P is actually a lowercase d turned upside down.
Oh.
No.
You know what? And I wouldn't have noticed unless you pointed it out.
And the reason you don't is when you look at a word that says upper
Yeah.
and it's actually going up, it's doing what it says. Your brain is not going to
Wow.
tell you there's anything wrong with that.
That is so
Now,
neat.
Canada is a word people recognize.
Mm-hmm.
They don't read it. So a lot of don't notice that's a V in the middle, not an A.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, if there was an actual
interesting
mistake
trick of
in
the-
something, somebody pays for it. Now, we set into the galleys, we get a galley proof, and that will go to the proofreader. Proofreaders mark the mistakes. Whoever sets it has to correct it. Now, if the mistake gets printed, if the proofreader marked it and the typesetter didn't correct it, they deducted money from the typesetter's salary. If the
Oh, wow.
proofreader didn't mark it, then they lost the money. And you only have to do that once, maybe twice, and people will stop making mistakes.
Can I just ask, like, is it literally like you have to place every single letter?
Every single letter. So
Wow.
it's just
That
like
would have taken forever to make that.
Seems to.
Wow.
But it's just
And it's
like typing.
and it's so small.
This is actually 10-point type, so it is not really that small. We have 10, 8, 6, and 3. Now 3 is.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And that
You
is.
need a magnifying glass.
And that is fine print. They had fine print. It was on the bottom of a lot of things, but you couldn't read it. So, which is, I guess, was the intent.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
We put it in there, but good luck reading it.
Now, as for the pictures, so we have what are called standard cuts
Yeah.
that we've taken bought out of the catalog. So it's kind of the 1866 clip art. You're not paying for the picture itself; you pay for the space. Now, a lot of these though are actually designed and owned by the people who ordered them. So it's
Okay.
their logo. That train
Right.
belongs to the Grand Trunk.
Right.
The God Save the Plow or whatever that says. That belongs to the Agricultural Society.
Right. Okay. Oh, well, thank you. That's very interesting.
welcome.
Okay, so over here, there is like a, for lack of a better word, I would call it a cafeteria, so the Harvest Barn. So if you're hungry, thirsty, want to go to the bathroom, they do have those services here. All right, this building is a schoolhouse. This small log schoolhouse is a representation of a one-room school described in Arthur Ralph Connor's Glengarry School Days. In Upper Canada, many rural common schools built during the 19th century up to the 1860s were made of logs and provided a basic education free to all children. Some materials from an old Glengarry school building in Kenyon Township were used in its construction at Upper Canada Village in 1959.
Okay, what was the subject today? Grammar, mathematics?
Well, we were working on some short stories earlier in class. You lost me there. How many students Well, for the camp, I believe we only had maybe about 15 kids in here. But usually this class can hold from about 10 to 20 students, 30 if they really squish together. Yeah.
And this is how they heat it in the winter?
Yes, it is. So we would either have one of these students or the teacher building a fire in there before everyone got here. And especially having it in the middle of the classroom would help keep everything up nice and evenly so we weren't freezing ourselves coming to school.
And this is what a desk used to look like versus today's desk? I find that interesting.
Yeah, so in the 1860s, which is when we have our village set, it was actually quite common to find your typical rows of desks, which most people are quite familiar with. This is a bit of an older style than even the rows of desks. The reason for that is that we have a very poor schoolhouse that we're showing here.
Okay.
Being in a village with a lot of farmers, we wouldn't have had too much money to spend on updating our school desks very often. So this style here would have been popular probably around the 1780s. I'm not sure of an exact date, unfortunately, but that's my best guess at this point. We would have been using most of the light coming in from the windows, so it made the most sense to kind of have the desks right against them, so that we could all see what we were doing while we were doing our schoolwork.
And you'd have like all grades together, being taught together at once, right?
Yeah, we had grades 1 to 6 in this classroom. The grade 1s, who were usually about 7 years old, would be sitting up near the front so that they could get help from the teacher when they really needed it.
And the older ones in the back.
The older you were, the further into your grades you got, the further back.
Okay,
Now,
makes
some of the
sense.
older children would also help the younger ones if the teacher was unavailable at the moment. So they were really trying to kind of help each other out in their lessons.
And after grade 6, do you have any what they were doing after?
Yes, so most children at that point would have gone to start work, maybe in town, at the mills, or as an apprentice, or you would start work on your parents' farm. If your family had money, you might be able to go on to grammar school and university, but it cost quite a lot, so it didn't always happen.
Great, well thank you, that's very interesting. The next building here on the left is the Union Cheese Factory. And we've got another horse carriage coming by. Great. Let's explore the cheese factory. Right, so this is where a little log shed. Oh, unfortunately, there is a closed sign on the door, so we can't go in, but I will read you the information about it. So, this small working cheese factory represents the hundreds of rural cheese factories found throughout Ontario during the latter part of the 19th century. This project was a gift to Upper Canada Village in 1964 from the Canadian Dairymen's Association to mark the 100th anniversary of the first Canadian cheese factory located in Ingersoll. The Union Cheese Factory represents a cooperative making cheddar cheese for export. Right, so let's explore this beautiful historic house. So, this one is called the Luke's house, farmhouse. This large stone house was built by Captain John Lukes on the edge of the St. Lawrence River, 5 kilometers west of here towards Morrisburg. Its architectural style and details suggest it was built in the 1850s. It was moved to Upper Canada Village in 1957 and restored as the main house of the Luke's farm. Today it reflects the prosperity of this established farm by the 1860s. Yeah, let's give you another shot of what it looks like. Right, let's go inside. Hello. Sorry to disturb your reading.
Oh, that's all good. This here is the Laux family farmhouse. This is a very prosperous family. They're no longer farming just to survive. They actually have leisure time, as per the opulent grand piano there. This is the sitting room here. This is where the ladies would have entertained their guests or read a book, did some sewing, and the men would have done business in this room as well.
Okay.
Yes. That there's the parlor, would have only been used for special occasions.
Okay.
The piano that you see is an original 1866 piano made in Whitby, Ontario.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you. I like the bird cage.
Oh, bird cage. Apparently,
It was
they
it.
used to have a bird.
I was gonna say, was it? I wonder if it was popular to have a bird as a pet back then.
I think if you were rich, then it would be just be another show of wealth if you
Right.
owned a pet, because normally whenever you own an animal, you would also put them to work back then.
Right.
Like horses or oxen, cows, sheep, anything
Yeah,
like that.
farm animals.
But this was definitely a luxury. No, but apparently we also used to have a bird, like a real bird.
Oh, no way.
Way before I began working. But
Would have added to the ambiance. Well, thank you.
yeah, no problem. You're welcome to go upstairs.
And then this whole area, section, is kind of set up as their farm, right?
Yes,
This is the
yes,
house.
so this is their house here, and then all of this pass here is their farmland. So
Gotcha.
they have lots of land, and they're using mixed technology, so mixed farming, because they're very progressive. They're using the latest technology in all of their work.
Okay. All right.
Because they could also afford that too.
Oh, yeah, this piano is incredible.
It's an optic grand piano. It's supposed to look like it's floating.
Oh.
So if you look at it
Yeah.
from a certain angle, it does kind of look like
Yeah.
it only has 2 legs.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. And this picture has a pet dog, so I'm a dog person, so I would notice.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Very
Have a good day.
super interesting. Yeah, here's another picture of a dog. And here's a bedroom. Wow, and a huge dining room.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. Well, we're very interested to learn. Yeah.
Hello, ladies. Oh, what are those? Hanging.
What are those?
What are those hanging?
Those are piece of the rhubarb that we're drying.
Oh, I never would have guessed that.
To grind it
To
up.
make strawberry rhubarb pie?
They use it for some sort of medical issues, apparently.
Oh, okay. Oh, like so it was used as medicine. Oh, okay.
Ground up dried rhubarb.
Wow.
Yep,
Here,
sounds
here.
delicious.
My mind went to pie. Not medicine.
Pie or cake or jam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. My priorities, food.
Yep. If you rhubarb, you've got my name all over it.
Exactly. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have fun. Oh, what here? Oh, there's like a tea kettle or something. And washboard. It's a beautiful garden. Here's the side of the house, porch, and then we can look over here as well. Barn. Oh, will we meet again? Is that as simple as tea?
Yep.
Okay.
Loose leaf tea, and just hot water. Yeah. In fact, I think that pot is probably boiling dry, so I'm going to pull it up.
Did they drink coffee too at that point, or
What's that?
did they also drink coffee
They did,
at this time?
Predominantly tea, but
Okay.
there, if you go up to the store, you'll see that there's a large coffee grinder, and there are stores that would advertise daily grindings of coffee. There were small coffee grinders as well that you could buy for the home, so you could do that. In previous times as well, you could buy beans green and grind them yourself. I'm not sure how predominant that was happening at this point. The daily grindings would have depended on them already being roasted. But if you ever follow Colonial Williamsburg, which is in Williamsburg, Virginia,
Okay.
they will actually demonstrate coffee roasting on an open hearth, and they also do it at Old Sturbridge Village as well.
Okay.
And the coffee grinder that you see up the store, I believe that version is from Philadelphia. It's a very large one. And then there are small home-based versions that are on the far shelf in the store as well.
Okay, thank you. That's interesting.
Hello, my dear. Coming for tea time?
Sure, but I also don't know if you can use this.
Here's some baby calves. Right, there's another door over here we can look in. Oh, and there's a placard. It says, this house, so the hired man's house. This house was originally owned by the McDougall family who settled on the riverfront of Charlottenburg Township in Glengarry County, 45 kilometers east of here. This two-story log home was built around 1825. It was reconstructed at Upper Canada Village in 1958 to represent the home of a hired man and his family working for the Lux family during the 1860s. A little butter dish and a big fireplace. Okay. Okay, so we're supposed to like imagine that. So that's the Lux family's house, and that all of this is supposed to like represent their farm. A water pump and historic wagon. Okay. Oh, we have got, hopefully you can see them. There are some chickens. Actually, I think a rooster. Oh, there's another one. All right. Okay, so this is just a barn. There's a stall on this side, but it's empty. Oh, here we've got a mama pig and 2 piglets. How cute are they? Trying to be quiet so I don't disturb their nap. How cute are the babies? So cute. Another view of the okay, and oh, we've got more pigs, but these ones are awake. Look at the little babies, they're playing. I don't know if you can see them in the shade. They're like kicking up dust and playing. And there's Mama just chilling. Mama's tired. The babies are wearing her out. All right. Oh, hang on. Look at this baby. He just went into the trough. How cute. I have to say, this cute baby horse is hands down my favorite thing to see so far. Hi, sweetie. Oh, you're so gentle. What a sweetheart you are. Oh, you're so sweet. What's your name, buddy? Hi. Have a good day. All right. Let's now explore this building. So there's a really nice carriage here. Decker separator. Around 1885, the McDonald Manufacturing Company of Stratford, Ontario introduced its second most advanced model of threshing machine. Inside it employed vibrating ducts to improve the separation of grain from straw. The decoration on this example is original and was painted by hand. This machine combined the jobs of separate threshing and fanning mills. With the transition to steam engine power at the end of the 19th century, such large machines became more common.
Okay, so it says that you said back to back, right? And the blades are here, so if it goes through the corn, you grab them and level them.
Oh,
Yes.
Hay knives. These knives were used to cut portions of hay or straw from stacks that had been compacted by weight. The latter addition of serrations to the blade made cutting more efficient. My shadow. So hay harpoon. Single and double pronged harpoon forks were able to lift surprisingly large amounts of hay. The harpoon penetrated the hay mound from above, compressing it. Barbs then extended to bite into the load. Harvest cart, a simple horse-drawn vehicle with removable ladders at the front and back to contain large loads of harvested crop. Drivers and passengers stood or sat on top of the cargo. Loading hay. By the late 19th century, loading systems that used pulleys and a wheeled carrier running on a beam made loading hay much easier. A horse hitched to the rope pulled provided lifting power. Right there. A scientific corn cutter. Two people seated back to back could gather bundles of corn as they were cut by blades on the wings of this horse-drawn implement. Oh, that's kind of neat. So you'd have two people sitting here. Looks like they sat back to back. This is a scythe sharpening. When a scythe became dull on the spot, sharpening was necessary. This could be done either with a handstone or by peening the edge with a hammer against a small portable anvil. Okay, seed driller. I also saw one of these at the Canada Agriculture Museum. Seed drill. As this implement moved, seed from the hopper was deposited and then covered with soil. Disturbed by the rear prongs, it has settings for various types of grain. Made after 1883 by J.O. Wisner and Son, Brantford, Ontario. I also have a video tour of the Canada Agriculture Museum, so if you want to see more, check out that video. Hay rakes. Once hay was cut, small and large rakes such as these helped form it into long windrows that were left to dry before gathering. A flop-over hay rake. This horse-drawn rake gathered hay into piles for drying or loading onto a cart. Once full, the rake was flipped, exchanging the full teeth for the empty ones and dumping the hay in the process. Cultivator. The wings of this horse-drawn cultivator were adjustable so that the teeth could run between several crop rows at once, thereby disrupting weed growth. Countless designs were invented. Oh, I could use one of these for my garden for weeding. Can you imagine? Yeah. This is a seed basket. This bentwood basket was curved to rest against the body. The user walked through the field, broadcasting seed left and right. This was an early process. This is a push seeder. A peg on the wheel of this cleverly handcrafted seeder triggers a mechanism which releases seed at regular intervals. The hopper is made from a recycled horseshoe nail box. All right, so this one is a barrow seed drill. A barrow seed drill such as this could seed a wide area more uniformly, quickly, and with less effort than before. Seed in the hopper was funneled into the conical tube below, resulting in more accurate placement. Oh, I see. If you look down below, that's what they mean. This is a harrow. After plowing, a harrow was dragged through the field to break up clods of earth and disturb the soil. Many forms existed, but all performed the same function. Often, a harrow was pulled at an angle to offset the teeth. Commercial plow. Scientific methods of the late 19th century brought improvements in plow design. The Siegmiller Truss beam plow, made in Godrich, Ontario in 1881, featured a universal joint to ease adjustments to cutting depths. Early 19th century plows. Plows turned over soil in preparation for seeding. Early 19th century plows were made of wood with a metal share tip, moldboard the side, coulter forward blade. They were often crafted by hand according to regional tradition. Stone boat. As fields were cleared, stones were placed on a wooden sled to be dragged away by horsepower. Rows of cleared field stones still mark property lines throughout Ontario farmland. Hand tools. Rakes, spades, and shovels were useful for digging out rocks and leveling ground. Early versions were made locally of wood with metal edges. By the mid-19th century, mass-produced tools were available that used more metal. And this is a leveling box. With this horse-drawn scoop, depressions and mounds in fields could be filled or reduced. Road maintenance was also aided It's a great way to help to keep it from skimming over the surface. This one. So, this is a earth roller used for leveling soil and breaking up clods of earth. Compacted soil would hold water better, protect roots, and harbor fewer insects. The tray on top was for holding stones removed from the field. And this is a sail reaper. The leading teeth of this implement cut the stalks near the ground, while rotating arms automatically rigged and deposited the load in regular bundles. Made by L.D. Sawyer and Company, Hamilton, Ontario, 1875. You can see the teeth. This, a threading machine. The seed-bearing ends of cereal crops were inserted into this device, where a tooth drum removed this device, where a tooth drum removed the edible grain from the stalk, powered by a treadmill or steam engine. How cute is that? And look, the horse is actually attached to the boat. So this is part of the boat ride. Right, so if you're interested in taking a boat ride, this is where you come. All right, so this is called Signal Tower. This timber structure is based on an 1830s sketch of a signal tower that was part of the British fort, Fort Henry in Kingston during the War of 1812. The signal tower at Upper Canada Village was constructed in 1961 and rebuilt in 2001. It was originally used to represent how military messages were sent during the War of 1812 and included a visual system of balls and pennants mounted on a mast at the top of the tower. An exhibit on the main floor illustrates this system. By the 1860s, the signaling system on these land-based towers has been replaced by the electric telegraph. All right. Again. All right, let's go inside. So, on the main level, there are a bunch of information plaques all around. You've got this little model of Signal Tower and a really nice fireplace. read all of it to you, but I'll read this part. By the 18th century, several different signaling systems were being used to transmit messages quickly over long distances. Letters, numbers, or words could be represented by different combinations of visual cues, often colored flags or balls, which were relayed from one point to another along a communication line. These systems were called telegraphs. Okay, so this picture, you can see there's different flags and then different balls, and that's how they would send messages, which is quite interesting. All right, let's go upstairs. So again, you got another fireplace. And to my understanding, all of these are where you would stick your guns out of for defense. And you can see that you can close them and open them when needed. Okay, we're gonna go to the top level now. Be prepared for an awesome view. Oh, perfect timing. Straight ahead, I'll zoom in. So this is the St. Lawrence River, and we've got a great view of a giant cargo ship going down the St. Lawrence River. I'm always so fascinated by how huge they are. All right, I'll show you the rest of the view. So that is just like absolutely gorgeous view up here. You have the St. Lawrence River, and then you also have a fabulous view of a lot of the village. Of course, the iconic church, the white church over there, always really stands out. And again, you've got the dock where you can catch the boat. All right, so definitely don't miss coming up here if you come to visit. Okay, here's one last look at that giant cargo ship. It says Canada Steamship Lines on it. All right, well, let's go. Here's our next historical building. This one is called the Dressmaker's House. This small stone house was originally built on the Chrysler property 4 kilometers west of here. It was owned by Geronimus Chrysler, brother of Colonel John Chrysler. The exact date of construction in the early 1800s is unknown. In 1846, John Pliny Chrysler used it as the kitchen wing of his large classic revival home facing the St. Lawrence River, moved to the Upper Canada Village in 1857, it became once again a separate home, first for a schoolmaster and presently the local dressmaker. All right. Hello.
Hi. Oops. So this is where ladies came to get all of their fashionable stuff. Your everyday clothes you'd be making for yourself.
Man, having to make my clothes for myself.
I mean, you don't make them, you don't have them. Maybe you could go to a seamstress to have
If
clothes.
only we dressed up like that.
Well, now that one, your husband would have to work for about 6 weeks.
Wow, he better get cracking.
The good thing about it is, you could keep it your whole life.
Fantastic.
So you just bring it out, maybe you get it for your wedding, and then you can wear it to everybody else's weddings.
And at this point, were they wearing those crazy tight corsets?
They're not crazy tight. Yes,
Okay.
we're wearing corsets,
Okay.
but they're not crazy tight.
Oh, okay.
They got that way, about 25 years later for the Edwardian period. But,
Okay.
And they were before, but no, not now.
I've always got that vision of, from Titanic, where they're like
Yes,
cinching her into the...
That is the Edwardian period. But that whole thing
didn't look very comfortable.
No, and not every woman just,
But yeah, this is beautiful.
lost my needle and it drives me crazy.
Oh my. Good thing I'm not 6 feet tall. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's an incredibly low ceiling right here, so be careful. So here's the beautiful old trunk. Wow, this room. It's really nice. Horse rug. Definitely noticing that the beds were much smaller back then. Oh my goodness. All right, I really have to duck here. Oh, I can see on this side it's got, what do you call this?
Crinoline.
Crinoline?
Yeah. Or you could call it a hoop, or you could call it a cage.
Is it almost like wire?
Yeah, you can touch it if you
Okay,
want.
I'm like,
Yeah. It is wire, actually.
So it's like, yeah, oh yeah, it's really stiff.
Yeah. But it'll flex, so it'll go in.
Oh, okay.
So you can fit through small spaces.
Oh, that's what they would do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's
Well, even just to like how would you like sitting?
No arms on my chair.
Oh, because your dress is like poof.
Yeah. Because they don't fly up. They'll stay down. Like when you sit down, they just go up like that. But of course you have to keep your dress down.
Gotcha.
They just go up like that.
Okay.
So you just have to have the technique.
I think, yeah, you just figure out how to maneuver yourself around.
And do it in a ladylike.
Yeah, that's true too. Yes, yes.
Hello.
Wow.
Yeah, I find I have to do it fast now, or I can't do it at all.
So this skirt you're wearing has that? Really?
Yep.
And look at you, you can sit.
Yep. 10 years of practice.
Yeah. I don't know if I would, yeah, that would take some getting used to for sure.
Yeah, but now when people ask me if it's hard, I say I'm not sure. I've been doing it so long. Maybe?
Oh, well, that's neat. I've never seen what it looks like underneath.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I've always been super fascinated by the clothes women wore back then. So here's another house. This one is called the Physician's House. So this attractive brick house built in the 1840s was located in the west end of the village of Ultsville on a large farm just 3 kilometers east of where it stands today. In the 1880s, this home was occupied by Michael Urias Cook, who was the first Canadian to import Holstein cattle into Canada. It was moved to Upper Canada Village in 1957 and restored and furnished to represent the comfortable home of a 19th century physician. All right, let's go check it out. This house has a fabulous wraparound porch. Wow. There's the stairs. I guess this is the dining room. There's a wood stove. Coat rack, I guess. Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. I got the dressmaker shop. I got the opportunity to look at what makes your skirts go. And she was showing me the skill of sitting down with it. So I thought that was quite fascinating. I'm like, that would definitely take some practice for me to get used to wearing one of those.
Yes, and you knock things over sometimes.
I've always been fascinated by these dresses.
This is the doctor's house. So that's his office.
Oh, okay.
He didn't see any of his patients here though. He only did house calls.
Old school doctor's instruments. And every room seems to have a wood fireplace. And like these crazy ductwork. I thought that was the dining room. So this is the dining room?
Yes, and
okay.
That's the parlor.
Parlor.
Yes, that was just for special occasions.
Gotcha. I don't have one of those.
The dining room would also be used for special occasions. They would eat in the
It's
kitchen.
huge. This room is huge.
And it keeps going. There's a sitting room and a kitchen back there too.
Yeah. Big bench. Cute little rocking horse. This is the smallest little stool I've ever seen. this house does keep going. So is this the kitchen? All right, gonna go explore upstairs. Ooh, it's hot up here. Here's one bedroom. A lot of these houses have slanted roofs. And yeah, another one of these. This is how they heat the house back then. A little cradle in the corner. Nice sleigh bed. Excuse me.
Can you imagine sleeping up here?
So this house is really incredible. Actually, let's walk up the... There's the horses. Wow, this house is beautiful. Like the columns in the upper deck. Aha, so this is called Chrysler Hall. This classic revival mansion was built on the riverfront in Dundas County, 4 kilometers west of here, constructed between 1846 to 48. It was the home of John Pliny Chrysler, member of the Legislative Assembly, Justice of the Peace, and County Registrar. In 1956, it was taken down and reconstructed at Upper Canada Village. Its exterior was restored and its interior modified to serve as a venue for special exhibits. Right, so next we're coming up on J.M. Willard Hotel. So Willard's Hotel, the original owner of the Willard's Hotel, Jacob Myers, built this inn on the front concession of Dundas County facing the St. Lawrence. This large white frame house dates from the 1790s and served various stage coach lines as a tavern and hotel during the early 1800s. The Willard family continued the tradition in the 1830s and also ran a general store on the main floor. In 1957, it was moved 5 kilometers east to the Upper Canada Village, where it was restored to serve as a dining establishment for visitors. Okay. So if you get hungry while you're here, you can get some food here. So next, we've got a bakery. It's not open at the moment, but I can read you the sign. The bakery was added to Upper Canada Village in 1962 as a representation of the 19th century commercial bakeries that produced bread in large quantities to sustain railway, canal, and other itinerant workers who were fed on the job. The design of its large wood-fired bake oven is typical of others in the region. Today, the bakery makes bread daily for Willard's Hotel, use in village programs and sale at the village store. So, if you time your visit just right, you can get some fresh bread here. So this building now looks like it's a store and a post office. Chrysler Store. This building was moved to Upper Canada Village in 1958 from the Chrysler property about 4 kilometers west of here. It stood to the rear of Chrysler Hall and was probably built sometimes in the 1840s. Its original purpose is unknown, and its restoration includes modifications to present it as a general store. The front porch was added later to reflect a common architectural feature of the 1860s. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
This is a Chrysler General Store here, so this is where you would have come to buy anything that you couldn't grow or sell, or grow or make at home.
Okay. Interesting. There's shoes on the ceiling.
Yes.
Oh. Is this an old school coffee maker? Grinder?
It is, yeah, it's a coffee grinder.
Grinder.
Yes. It also doubled as our post office back there. So you could send your letters for 5 cents.
Wow. Is this real horsehair?
It is, yes.
Wow. What was this used for?
I think it was for cheese.
Oh,
to
okay.
cut cheese.
That makes sense.
Because it spins in a circle. I think it's a cheese wheel cutter.
Oh. I was thinking you know those you remember we had in school with the
Yes.
You cut paper or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then that's our most expensive item in the
Wow.
front of the store here. It's called a perambulator. It's a little doll's, a children's toy. It's a little doll carriage. And it would have been $7.
Okay, so not for a real baby, for a toy.
Yes.
I love how they all had these wood Like this is how they would
yes,
heat
yes,
all the
yes.
buildings. Except for sale. Beware of pickpockets. Really stands out. It's yellow. It's got beautiful gardens. Hi. United Empire Loyalist Jeremiah French settled his family west of Cornwall on land beside the St. Lawrence River. Sometimes after 1784, he constructed a small timber-framed home, which he sold in 1812 to his son-in-law George Robertson. By 1820, Mr. Robertson had enlarged the house to the neoclassical structure visible today. The house was continuously occupied by the Robertson family until 1957, when it was moved 25 kilometers west to Upper Canada Village. Today, the Robertson house represents a middle-class home in the 1860s. Gardens. Wow, this room is amazing. So much detail. Look at that piano. It's like a stand-up piano. I believe on the floor, that is a spittoon that you'd spit your tobacco into. Here is a very large dining room. Beautiful grandfather clock. Oh, we've got a chipmunk in here. Do you see him on the floor? So this is the kitchen. There's the fireplace. Kitchen table. It's beautiful. Some nice china. Wood storage shed in the back. Okay, now we're going to visit the Cook's Tavern. So, the Cook's Tavern, in the early 1800s, loyalist Michael Cook ran a small inn and tavern from his riverfront home in Dundas County. Such businesses supported the stagecoach lines that ran between Montreal and Kingston by providing accommodation and livery service. In November 1813, American invaders occupied and destroyed the Cook property during the Battle of Chrysler Farm. In 1820, Michael Cook used his war losses compensation to build this large brick structure. In 1956, it was moved 2 kilometers east to Upper Canada Village. Today, the tavern represents this business as it has evolved by the 1860s. Right, so here's the outside of it. And I just want to point out, so there's a bunch of seating outside here. And so sometimes you'll be able to catch, there's like a little historic concert they'll put on here. And then the other thing I want to point out is that this is where you can catch a wagon ride. So if you want a horse wagon ride, this is where you would catch it. All right, let's go inside. There's quite a lot to look at in here. Wood stove. Grandfather clock. This is interesting. You've got Grand Trunk Railway. Look at the prices. The prices.
Upstairs? Okay.
Looks like a little, almost like a little tea room. And then in here, you got dining, fireplace. Hi. How are you? I'm good. This is the kitchen. So, this.
Cook's Tavern was a family-run hotel.
Okay, and then this was like a bar?
That was the bar and games room. That was for men only.
Ooh. I would not have done well back then.
Well, ladies had a little room off of the dining room.
Oh, got you. So men over here and then the ladies would hang out over there. Okay.
And this is referred to as a gentleman's bar, and that term is used extremely loosely.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Family was living here and providing food and lodging. If you were traveling and wished to have a meal, you do all eat in the dining room together. Men traveling on their own may have eaten here.
Okay. So it was a hotel, a bar?
And basically a restaurant.
Okay.
But there is no menu choice. Whatever we put on the plate is
what you get.
Because we're really not running a restaurant.
like being at your parents' house and you have to eat what you're served or you're... Exactly. It's like a games room. This is the kitchen.
So all the cooking here is done over the open fire. Yeah.
Over here, okay.
Yeah.
So you just put like water and whatever in pots and then you just put over the fire?
Yeah. Yeah, whatever, there's our pots down there that we can cook with.
Yeah.
They all hang on the crane. There is
Vegetables, meat, the whole nine yards. They
yeah.
put in
We
the pot
also
and...
use the entire surface as our cooking surface.
Okay.
This is an oven. You can see it has feet. Okay, there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
So a bed of red ambers is pulled out. The pot is put on top of red ambers.
Okay.
Whatever you want to bake goes inside the pot.
Right.
And then more red ambers on the lid. So you have that even heat top and bottom.
Okay.
So you've got the flames going, you've got an oven going, you've got a frying pan going along the same way with red ambers underneath it.
In comparison to like cooking,
cook stove.
like with an oven or a stove, does it take like way longer to cook?
No.
Similar in time? Okay.
Yeah, they're very similar. Very similar. Because you have to heat your entire stove up while you're getting up the right ambers to be able to bake with. So it's half dozen, 1/6 of another.
So would it be common just to have a fire 24/7 going?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Maybe not so much the 8 hours overnight, because this fire, they're going to use the ambers in the morning to restart the fire for the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And it's the same with the stove. The stove, the fire is going to be going until you're done supper, which is when the sun goes down.
Okay.
And then those ambers are still there in the morning.
Hey, those days when the power goes out, I mean, it'd be handy to have one of these.
Well, they've often told us working here, oh, the power's gone out. Really? It affects me how?
Exactly. Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
interesting.
Have a good day.
Sorry. Okay. Go upstairs. This bedroom is quite large. Another bedroom here. I like the canopy, but the beds don't look overly comfortable. Yeah, also I like a big room up here. Two more bedrooms. Wow, the bed looks very uncomfortable. But really nice four-poster bed. Okay. That's the Cook's Tavern. Now we're gonna head to my favorite. Alright, so we are now going to head to my favorite, the church. On the right here is the really nice white church. There it is. I love the steeple. Right next to it, there's a little graveyard. Huh. Before we go in, I just noticed there are some sheep here. There's a field here. Can you see them? There's a bunch of sheep here grazing. Okay, so let's read about the church. So many of the early settlers of this area were members of the Church of England, which established a parish in Cornwall. In 1784, regular travel over long distances was difficult, and Adam Dixon, a wealthy miller from the small village of Moulinet, constructed and gave this beautiful white frame church to local Anglicans. Episcopalians, built during 1836 to 1837. It served for many years as an important landmark for river traffic on the St. Lawrence. Sadly, Dixon and his wife both died by 1837. Their tombstones can be seen in the Pioneer Memorial outside the front entrance to the village. In 1957, Christchurch was moved 20 kilometers west to Upper Canada Village. Today, this church represents a congregation worshiping in the 1860s. Here it is from the front. All right, let's go in. This is what it looked like. Other side. There's tons of information you can read about churches here. Thanks for watching this tour of Upper Canada Village. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more, check out my Upper Canada Village playlist where I have more videos of things to see and do here. If you enjoy videos about things to do in Canada, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and until next time, happy travels!